Yes, sir. We are back like we never left. Uh Episode 41 of What's Up Cuzzo podcast with the two favorite cousins. We got Melly in the building.
What it do?
What up, though?
All is well. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And we got your boy M Dub is in the building. What up, y'all? We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Let's see. I'm trying to get things together. I apologize for the somewhat late start, but we're working on trying to get things together for the show. But anyway, what's up with you, Cuzzo?
Man, I can't call it, man. It's all good. Another day in the life. All is well. No complaints. Keeping it moving. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. How you feeling?
Oh shoot, here we go. He over there jive talking us now. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I'm doing good. You know, as you said, it is another week, and I'm gonna go church on y'all, man. Hey, it's good to be in the land of the living one more time. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Can I get an amen?
No doubt.
Oh, where the drums at? No, wrong one. Where the drums at? Hold on, where they at?
Man.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Hey, I need to put a
get
label
it together,
on it.
man. Let's get it together.
There we go. It's good to be in the land of the living one more time. Yes, sir. All of that. Anyway, things have happened.
And as always, things will continue to happen every single day.
And yes, they do. We got a government shutdown. We got something breaking. We got P. Diddy. And then we got the WNBA ongoing saga. What else do we got? Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk about something going on in Vietnam. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Oh, we're gonna talk about what's going on in Vietnam, and then also we're gonna talk about the continuing I don't want to say takeover, but there's some, changes that are happening in other states that, is it a long-term play? We don't know what it is, but it seems that way. But anyway, so let us hop right into it. Let's go over to Vietnam and see what's going on. Here we go. Let me see. Give me 1 second. All right, cool. There we go.
That's 43%. Vietnam has closed 86 million bank accounts. They have frozen them, seized the assets, but they've closed the accounts. And that's 43% of all the accounts. There's around 200 million in Vietnam. Really? And the quote that they give is, prevent fraud and cybercrime. It's always in your best interest, except when it isn't. Can you imagine that number, 86 million, how many millions of people and families that have actually gone into serious trouble because they cannot access their account, either because they refused or couldn't give, the digital ID. That's what they wanted. You had to register a digital ID with biometric data. Give more of your privacy away without your choice. And if you don't do it, we'll take your money. whether you like it or not. And the Canadian government has already shown us how to do this, because they closed the accounts of the truckers because of a peaceful protest. How the people that authorize that are not in jail serving long sentences, well, is anybody's guess. But the serious point here is it's coming here. They're pushing for digital IDs. And what's going to be the pushback? When is it going to stop? We had it during COVID. Oh, just get one vaccination and you'll be fine. And then they took away your permissions after you got your vaccine and said, no, actually, you need another one, and then another one. The point is, these type of people, they keep on taking more and more. The more we give away our freedom, our power, the more they'll take. We are on the edge of a cliff. We don't actually act now and start saying enough is enough. Whether we have to form a brand new government, whatever it is we have to do.
I'll just stop it right there. So what you think, cuz?
Yeah, man. As he said, and as we always say, things are happening. And as always, every day, things will continue to happen.
That's a fact.
This is one of those things that's happening, and it's happening, on many different levels. And when I say many different levels, everything doesn't happen just out of the blue. It's set in motion so these things can be ushered in. They can sell to the public. They can tell the people for reasons, that is being done, to kind of combat illegal aliens, people coming in, getting fake IDs, becoming truck drivers, people coming in and getting these jobs and they're not qualified for. If we put all your information into the system and it becomes digitized, then that way we can connect all the agencies a lot quicker, so we can, process the information, inherently more smoother. But also the downside to that is, as you said before, they can shut your bank accounts off. They can shut your credit cards off. They can shut, close your money off.
Yeah.
They can, make life tougher for certain individuals. As we see, just with the Diddy trial, oh, we're going to freeze all your bank accounts. That would be tough if all your money was digitized and in banks and in places that, that hold, digits. But if I have cash, if I have a passport, if I have other means of identifying myself, I won't need, the system inherently, as they make it seem, is so convenient. And it can be in a lot of ways, but also there's a downside to it. There's a side where they are able to control people on a larger scale, so they can get better control of nations, of, masses of people, and they can monetize your information. The big thing now is information. The more information I can get on you, the more information I can get about you, the more ways I can control you by marketing to you, by controlling what you do based on what I allow you to see, what you're allowed to use, and how much you're allowed to spend. So on many different levels, there's a psychological thing, there is a physical application, and there's also a digital application to this. So I just want people to start to pay attention to some of these things as to how they're starting to take more of your freedoms away by controlling, what you do and how you can do it based on information they have about you. That's in the system. That's not private. That's public. Not in the sense of anybody can see it, but certain agencies don't need to see certain information. So I just think this is another way that they're ushering in, which they call, what's the other one? The digital dollar. We got the BRICS thing happening with, those nations that, linked up.
Yeah.
So
Brazil.
Right. So this is another way that they will try to force feed this to the people, and they'll accept it 9 times out of 10 because they're going to tell them it's for the better. We've had the whole, illegal alien issue, or the people's coming in that's illegal, but we all know what that reason is for, So, I mean, that's just my take on it from a small frame. But I tell people, do your research. Start to look into things when you hear these stories, because you want to know where it's coming from, who's saying what, and what's actually happening, with those types of informational briefs, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think it's like the, kind of like the carrot and the stick. There, and not just this instance, but like this stuff has been happening all the time. This has been happening for a long time. And they've been getting our information because they show us something that we want. You know what? If you sign up for this, then I'm gonna give you a free bag. Or if you do this, if you log in and set up this app, then we'll give you a free month of this. If you do this, then we'll give you that. And slowly but surely, they've been getting information from us, and putting us, in the system, as a, for lack of better words, for a long time. I'm kind of like at a point of no return, to be honest. How do you think when you sign up for a flight, like you book a flight and you get a notification, or your flight is leaving at this time, and then I don't know if you got this, Cuzzo, but your flight is leaving at this time. You need to leave your house at such and such time in order to get to the airport to make it to your flight at a decent time. Like I've gotten stuff like that. Oh, there's an event that happened. Like I buy tickets to an event. Oh, the event is starting at this time. You should leave your house at this amount of time, and it gives you like the map. If you want to click on the option, they'll give you like the Google Map function to take you to the event. To start your trip or your route. And so this stuff has been happening for a long time, and like I would like to think that Vietnam is a little different, as it relates to I would like to think that Vietnam is a little different, as it relates to us, but I don't know. Different may not be good. You know what I'm saying? Different might be worse. And I know I've already used like biometrics, for a lot of different things already. So I'm already in there, man. I'm like, that's why I said I'm at the point of no return. But I think for these individuals, I don't know what their socioeconomic levels are places are, because some of these people may not even have access, to use this type of technology. I don't know. I mean, I was, kind of doing a little research on it, and that's really what, kind of what they were saying. And to have this be the model for that entire group of people, and there's 86 million people that don't have access, to their bank accounts, and that's another thing about social economic, issue, because what if they don't have the funds? I mean, you kind of spoke about this already. Like, what if they're living paycheck to paycheck, or what if they're like nickel and diamond, and now you're saying that your access to your account is shut off and you need some money to just eat? Like again, carrot and the stick. They say, hey, put your money here in this institution so we could watch it for you, right? So we could look after it for you, so we can make sure that nobody tries to take your money. But then there's another side of that is we want to see, and you kind of spoke to this too, we want to see what you're doing with your money. We want to see how you're spending your resources. not only do we want to look after for you, we want to know what you're doing. And there's a lot of different things that you could, talk about as to why, or what they're using this information for. But they want our information, and they want to use whatever resources they can to control us, and they try to put that out in front of us, the carrot and the stick. Like, at some point, and actually they did this already. There's this can't remember the name of it. But there's a facial scan thing where you could actually pay for your like pay for things. So there was this place that it was like a sandwich place or whatever that was near me, and they had one of those options. Actually, it was a ramen place as well that had, you set up this facial ID thing, and they gave you like $20 towards your order or whatever, if you signed up. And so you sign up with it, and all you do is just scan it like on a little scanner that they had, and basically it charged your card or whatever. But like, why are they giving me that money? They're not giving it to me because they like me.
Right.
They're giving it to me because they want the information, my information. And then guess what? They're they're saying like, oh, you know what? If he gives me his information and we give him $20, guess what he might do? He might tell Melly like, hey, Melly, I signed up, at this place, and they gave me $20 towards my food. Like, that's, they looking forward to that word of mouth. Hey, you should do it. And then they looking for Melly to say, oh, that's a good idea. Where is this place at? Hey man, it's already planned out, man. Like it's already, prepped, and they've done their research. They know, how to get us, and we just have to be careful, like to see how these things happen, because they don't just do it all at once. It's a gradual thing, man. So we'll see what happens, man, with these people, these 86 million people who don't have access to their accounts. We'll see if there's any, any resolution. But what it looks like is that until they, give up their rights and set up the biometrics, or, like on their accounts, then they're not going to be able to access their accounts. So, it's either you bend to our will or you don't. And it's a communist country. So, like, they're kind of like at the hands of the government. Yep.
Indeed.
You have anything else? Huh?
I said, indeed. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said before, man, people, do your research, man. Stop thinking and going for the Democrat versus Republican. Stop only, focusing on, stuff that they put out there for you to not focus on what's happening to your rights. So that's what I will say. But anyway.
Cool. On to the next one. On to the next one.
Gotta get that drop. We gotta get that drop.
Yes, sir. So this is a topic that we've been talking about quite a bit. Not necessarily this, but the WNBA. The playoffs are actually going on, and we had
Is it?
Yeah. No, see, I didn't even know either. But anyway,
crazy work. I ain't seen advertisement nowhere. Nothing. I ain't seen like no news stories talk about it. Nothing.
Yeah, man.
Talk about the Dodgers though. Playoff. They don't talk about WNBA. That's crazy work.
We talk about the NBA coming back, but
right.
Hey. So yeah, Nafisa Collier had some choice words for the WNBA and the commissioner of the WNBA, and we'll see what she had to say.
Prepared a statement that I would like to make before taking any questions. All right. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Mercury for advancing to the finals. And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money It isn't ratings or even missed calls or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. Sorry, I had to walk here in my boot. I'm kind of out of breath.
Get it out, girl.
The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Kathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. I have the privilege of watching my husband run a league where he has to balance 100 different things at once. I won't pretend the job is easy, but even with all of that on his plate, he always takes the time to reach out to players when he sees an injury, whether it's Unrivaled or even during the WNBA season. That is what leadership looks like. It's the human element. It's basic integrity, and it's the bare minimum any leader should embody. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Kathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating. And it's the perfect.
All right, we'll stop it right there, man. She
I don't know. I was trying to follow what she was saying, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go first because I was trying to figure out, you know, what was the issue. And it sounds like it's many different issues, but she's trying to make it, you know, from an owner with overtones of bad officiating. There's bad officiating across all leagues. There's always going to be issues with bad officiating because it's a human element to the game. You have a choice to make a call or to not make a call. You have a choice to let physical play happen. You have a choice not to let physical play happen. We're going to focus on these calls more this game, and we're going to focus or not focus on them this game. This person has a tendency to do this, you know, when they're on the court. So we're going to focus on this player when they do this. And then, you know, vice versa. So, you know, I was really trying to figure out, you know, what the issue was.
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of that, and then also the person who she was referring to was actually the commissioner of the league, and you know, I guess she feels she doesn't, you know, take the, you know, the girls for. I mean, basically, she doesn't value, you know, the women of the WNBA. That's kind of what I got out of it, and you know, doesn't value their opinions and things of that nature. One thing I wanted to actually say, I wanted to kind of go back to the first thing that she said. She talked about that, you know, she didn't take accountability, and I kind of smirked, and, you know, because it's funny to me that she used those words because I think that the women as a whole in the WNBA, I'm sorry, the majority, I'll say that, And actually, let me go back even further. Let me retract what I said. Those who believe that their product is at the level where they should be getting NBA money, they're delusional. We actually reviewed a podcast where Candace Parker, who was a former NBA, who was an NBA champion, who was a former WNBA MVP, and she said like what y'all was out there doing was trash. You know, and how is it that you come to work every day and this is not for all of them because I know there's some women out there that take it serious, but
we lost him. Cuzzo, we lost you. You went off. Come back to us. He's looking like he's getting ready to cut. Where's the Marco rant button at? Yeah, he was getting ready to turn it up. So while we're waiting for Marco get back on here. Oh, there he is. He's coming back. There he is. Can't hear you.
what about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Every time I talk about the WNBA, they kick me out, man. What's up?
Yeah, man, he was getting ready to cook, man. So that's like, oh no, we got to get him off of here.
Hey, man, made me mess up my flow, man. Hey,
watching. I was about to hit the Marco rant button for a second. I was like, oh,
oh
they
man.
got him.
Hey, so
they got him.
Let me see if I could gather what I was about to say. But yeah, so she's a former champion. A champion, former, WNBA MVP, and she said the product is not a good product, and you guys still don't listen to her. You go out there, and the goal is to show people in the NBA that this is a good product. So you play your butt off. And the problem is that y'all think that you guys are owed something, when you're not. And guess what? I may not agree. There's some things that I didn't agree, and I'll talk about those, what the commissioner said. But you should be grateful. I don't know about being down on your knees, but you should be grateful for a point that you're at because things are progressing, things are moving forward, things are moving along, things are better than they were, 25 years ago in the WNBA. They're better.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I brought up before, and I'll bring it up again. And actually, I was talking to my boy about this. Hey, if you look back at the NBA, 25 years in, them cats still had other jobs. Them cats was clocking in, at the steel mill, clocking in at the, at the oil refinery, clocking in, probably serving food to people. You don't ever know what they were doing. All kind of jobs. They was probably, handyman, plumbing, whatever, might have some tech people in there. I don't know. But they were clocking in, and then they had a game, after. Guess what? A lot of y'all don't have to do that. A lot of y'all provided the resources not to the NBA's, stature, right? But to where you are currently in your league. That's what it is. And guess what? I don't know. I don't understand. I would like to be, I don't want it to be like one of these old school movies where I say I wish I could, think like a woman, or think like they thinking, and I wake up and I get transferred to to one of the women's bodies. But I would like to know what they're thinking or how they feel, actually when it relates to some of these things, because they were offered $200,000 minimum up to $1 million. Hey, that's going from 70,000-80,000 to 200,000. That's tripling your money almost. I don't know, bro. And Yeah, I mean, and then you have to say, like, I mean, Nafisa, nobody else was there to have the conversation with the commissioner, so you could basically only take, her word, for things. We don't know what the commissioner actually said, herself, so I can't really, say much about that. But I can say, like, there is a problem with some officiating, and I can imagine at that level, that they get probably like the officials, of course, that are, maybe don't spend, maybe have to do the same thing. Maybe they have to clock in at a job because I'm sure they don't get paid the same amount as the NBA refs get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the level of a referee that you get. So guess what? If you work on things, when you become better, when your league, as your league continues to get more eyes on it, as your league continues to, have more people spend money, in the league, and you're on the uptrend. And that's the thing. I mean, I can see you getting there, but guess what? Like, I don't know, for her to say that, especially in that particular, space, I don't think it was a good, it was a good look. But I could be wrong. I'm ranting, and so before you hit the button, I digress and I'll let you share.
Yeah, I mean, great points. I was just going to speak to, the point that she made in terms of, players making a certain amount of money and not having a platform to be able to make the money they make outside of the game. And I think that's true, if not for the WNBA, you'll more than likely be overseas.
That's a fact.
Not getting any of the endorsement deals that you're getting here in America. Because I'm pretty sure if you're over in Germany or if you're over wherever you play, Italy, you're not going to be getting endorsement deals here because why do we care? We don't watch basketball in other countries. So why would they?
Basketball here?
Exactly. So, and we didn't even know it was a playoff. So why would we endorse you anywhere else if you're not here? In America in the WNBA. So that's a valid point. But I also think too that because that happens, that doesn't give you the onus to say, okay, well, we're only going to give you this because you're making this outside, which I don't think that's the point she was trying to make. But she brought it up to say, hey, because you have this platform, you're able to do this. Every player does not have that opportunity because they have this platform, because it's also based on your talent and based on, your ability and based on the product that you put out on the court too, which goes back to your point only what Candace Parker was saying. We watched the All-Star game and you are complaining about, oh, well, we played 2 or 3 games, in a row. And I know that can be tiring, but this is you're in the pros. You're at the highest level to play, this game. So I don't get what you are complaining about. And of course, we would like things to be better, but in order for things to get better, you have to be better. Because you can't come into a space and a place and say, yeah, I've given all that I can, because most of the times when you come into a certain environment and then things are already a certain way, if you can't elevate yourself above that, then you're going to have some blowback. You're going to have some ways about yourself that you're going to have to kind of dial back because you feel like, okay, well, in this environment, I can only be this because this is what is available here. And, you want to be a part of the team. Unless you, like she was saying, unless you're like those 3 names that she mentioned, they're above that because they already came into the league with their fame. There was already top 1, 2, 3, in the NC2A. So it's like when you come here, automatically you're going to be the top 1, 2, 3 because the stage is now different. Things are different. You now have NIL money. You now have social media. You now have endorsements that are starting to be giving a lot sooner than before. You didn't get endorsements until really you got to the pros. Now people are getting endorsement deals in middle school, high school, college, So it's like things are changing, and you guys, or you ladies, want things to be given to you because you're in a certain position and you feel like you should be given something when that's not how it goes, unfortunately. I remember when I was playing football in high school, and I came back a couple years later. I was like, man, I got some nice uniforms. I got this turf field. Y'all got lights. It's like, man, why we couldn't get that? You know what I'm saying? We was good, you know what I'm saying? But I understand, like, everyone has to go through their process, and then as things become better, because yeah, they went to the championship. Then the year after that, I think they won the championship 2 years after that. So there's a process to you getting more given to you in your program when you are elevating, or the players are being elevated because of the play from people that came before them. But if you don't carry that work ethic forward, then you're not going to get anything that you believe you should deserve to have, because you're not giving out that same effort. You don't have that same dog mentality. You don't have that same go to work mentality. It's I'm here now, so just give me what I believe I should have.
Yeah.
Give me what I deserve, because everybody else that came before me did the work, and I'm just coming in now with talent. That's not how it works.
Not at all. And I would just say that they don't. That's how things work. You know, like you lay the groundwork sometimes for the people that, you know, that are coming after you. That's how it works. Like you do that for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, some of y'all some of them may not have kids, but that's how it's done for your kids. You lay the groundwork, you know, for your kids, so your kids could be better, right? Like you don't want to say, like, you know what, you know, I want what my kids got too. You know, I don't want them, you know what I'm saying? I don't like, you know, I got what I got, but I want what they have too. Like sometimes it doesn't work that way.
No.
You know, like in history, that's how it's been. Like for things to upgrade, like somebody has to put in the work beforehand, you know, so those after can reap the benefits. You know, if you want to talk about, you know, Dr. King and the civil rights movement, you know, I guess we're not gonna go too deep in that, because some people have certain views about that, but a certain goal was set and the work was put in. Dogs were sicked on people, you know, fire hoses, et cetera, et cetera. So people after could benefit from those things. And so guess what? Whatever was done before you guys, you benefit, but some people are not willing to do that work, and they're not willing to do the work and continue to get better, because guess what? You take this 200,000, you know, 1 million to 1 million, and guess what? Who says you can't come back to the table later? But you just say, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, you know what? Honestly, I mean, the NBA, I don't know what they're going to do, but if it was me, you know, I might just say, okay, cool. Like, you know what? We talked to Melly, and Melly didn't even know it was a playoff. So, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna say Melly didn't even know it was the NBA All-Star game that was happening. Like so what, you know, we just gonna go ahead and let y'all do your own thing. We don't let y'all play in the I forgot what the other she was actually talking about, Nafisa was talking about the other league that her husband runs. It's a 3-on-3 league. But guess what? It's only, you know, a certain amount of teams. So y'all still gonna be, some people gonna be back overseas and doing whatever they do. I mean, I wish them the best, you know, but I don't know, man. I don't know what, you know, maybe I'm missing something. If I am, please somebody let me know what I'm missing. And I'll just say this last thing is basic economics, right? If I'm making $100, we'll just say that. Just say we making $100 together, and I have transportation, I have employees, I have all these costs, which will cost me. Just say we back in the day where, you know, people get paid dollars. You know, just say it cost me $25, right? Instead of you saying, okay, guess what? You pay everybody, then we could split it. You know what you say? You know what? I want 50 of the $100 up top, up front, and then the 50 that you get, you do whatever you want with it. But I gotta pay people with that 50, so I end up with 25, and you end up with 50. That don't make sense, and that's what they want the NBA to do. you know, is they don't want to share profits. They want to profit sharing. They don't want to, you know, share that money that, you know, after we bust it down, you know what I'm saying? After we bust everything down, we got to pay, you know what I'm saying? We got to pay for the product to get shipped in here. You know what I'm saying? We got to pay for the people on the corners. You know, we got to do all that. Guess what? You can't take the money off the top like that. And that's what they want to do. And it's not going to work like that. But I mean, maybe, like I said, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like, let me know inside of the comments if I'm missing something. I'll go take a look at it.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you out there and you on the streets, you know, and you doing the work, I mean, you automatically feel, you know, that, hey, you know, I'm the one out there, you know, making the product go. I am the product, you know. So it's like, without us, you know, you don't have an opportunity to, you know, make money or even have, you know what? No, that doesn't work. I don't even see how that works either. That doesn't even make sense. I was trying to help, but I was like, yeah, that don't make sense either.
Yeah, we still got to pay people other
that
than
don't
you.
make sense either.
We still got to pay the plug. You know what I'm saying? We still got to pay the plug. We can't pay you half, and we got to pay the plug too. So, you know, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, man, we got some. It's not really breaking news now, but it just actually happened. Man, they got him. Man, they got him. They got him. They got it. They got Diddy, man.
They been had Diddy. How they get him now?
Man, well, he asked for appeal. Excuse me. And then they denied his appeal. And now they sent today. He got
and good afternoon. I'm Whit Johnson in New York. We're coming back on the air because the judge has just sentenced Sean Diddy Combs to 4 years in prison. He was found guilty over the summer on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution in connection with his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura and another woman, but was acquitted on more serious charges that could have sent him to prison for life. Let's get right to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky, who's been following this trial from the beginning. He joins us from outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. So, Aaron, we just got the verdict right there. We know that Combs himself spoke to the judge. The judge responded. Lay out the sentencing here and what went down in the courtroom today.
This was a very long sentencing hearing, which Sean Combs himself, once larger than life, was left begging for mercy, standing at the defense table, telling the judge that he's a changed man, apologizing for his behavior. But that request for a lenient sentence of time served was rejected by the judge, Arun Subramanian, who said it was insufficient to send the kind of message that he wanted to send, that violence against women must be met with real accountability. And so he sentenced Sean Combs to 4 years in prison. That's not as much as federal prosecutors here wanted. They wanted 11 years in prison, reminding the judge that Sean Combs has a penchant for violence and abuse, pointing to 2016 hotel security video showing Combs attacking Cassie Ventura. Combs says he knows that video intimately. He apologized to Cassie Ventura. The judge said 11 years was unreasonable, but 4 years is just the right amount, the judge said, to send a message to Sean Combs, to victims of domestic violence, that their accounts will be taken seriously.
Whit? Aaron, thanks. Let's go ahead and bring in a trial attorney and ABC News legal contributor, Brian Buckmeyer. Brian, we just heard Aaron lay out right there that the defense was hoping for 14 months in credit for time served. The prosecution wanted 11 years. So this is somewhere in the middle. Is this verdict what you expected?
It actually was not what I expected. And this is why I say.
All right, Cuzzo, what you think?
Boo. That's what I think. So they gave him 4 years for settling out of court with this chick, Cassie. And because of the video, they gave him 4 years for domestic violence. Is that what he went to jail for? I don't know. That's my question. I mean, it is what it is. Whatever message you want to send. I mean, it's there's plenty of people that go through domestic violence, worse than this, I've seen, and continue to go through every day. But I guess this is a high profile case. So you kind of use this as a platform, an example to make an example out of this individual, not to treat or to make this individual learn a lesson, because he's already been in jail for what, past 9 months, maybe almost a year. So it's been a while already. But all in all, for whatever subject we're speaking about in terms of domestic violence, I don't agree with it. On the surface, it looks bad. But again, that's not what the trial was about. The trial was about trafficking, and him bringing out people, flying them out, and paying them, for a good time. So I just think they got him on that, and I don't know. It just kind of feels weird. You give somebody 4 years, and it just goes to show that money can't buy everything, because, this guy, P. Diddy, and then we have our other guy. What's the other guy that was in film or something like that? The other old white guy, I forget his name. But he had got in trouble with some issues like this too. So I don't know. It's funny that you kind of see these individuals that look like us always become the poster child for, getting in trouble for these things, and then everybody kind of applauds it. And I tell people, just kind of watch what's happening and take it, as a personal attack, because these individuals mostly they look like you. Yeah. Every now and then you'll see somebody else, because they say, okay, yeah, we'll allow this one to go through or get through. But yeah, you can mess with that, But all in all, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad people won't have to talk about it, because they forgot about it for a while. After the trial was over, people wasn't talking about it. It was on to the next cycle. So that's where we at. That's my spiel.
Yeah, man. I agree with with a lot of what you said. I think it's crazy that and you kind of alluded to this, that we see the justice system is fractured. You see a video, you can't convict me on those charges, so you go after me on some other charges that are not legit. And guess what though? Guess what? So why isn't she here with him? Why isn't she on trial for trafficking as well? You've had people that said she was, part of the process. So why isn't she right with him? And I seen that basically those sentiments in a lot of people's comments, that, when this thing first happened, them talking about, oh, he beat her, and oh, he did this, and yeah, he did. Like, guess what? I don't know their relationship. I know what I saw in the video. From what people said, their relationship was tumultuous. They had some crazy stuff going on, but that wasn't this. Like, that wasn't what he was convicted for. He wasn't convicted for those things that we saw in the video. And people inside of the comments, guess what? He shouldn't have put her hands on her. Guess what? They're talking about trafficking. That has nothing to do with putting your hands on anybody. And those two things should not be tied together. Guess what? They could be like, you know what? and I think I might have said this before. You was jaywalking. I guess jaywalking is legal now. So maybe that's a bad example. But could you imagine you doing one thing and then they convict you for something else? Like, guess what? We couldn't get you on those charges, but guess what? You know what? We're gonna convict you on these charges. How would you feel? And we need to sometimes get outside of like that vengeful, vindictive mindset and be objective. Sometimes people can't be objective. They want to get their side no matter what. They totally go against what they said before if it means that I'm gonna be right this time. Like, hey, stick to your word, bro. This is like you said, it's over, but it's crazy to see this type of thing happen. And I'll bring it up again. Anacombri and Fitch. What they get what did you say they got, Cuzzo? You muted.
Yeah, slap on the wrist. And I think they got like a fine of multi-millions of dollars or something like that. Yeah, something like that.
I'm sure he would pay that, to be free. Guess what? Your freedom is priceless.
They actually got caught for trafficking.
They did get caught for trafficking. It was a man, hey. and so that's the thing, man. I don't want to make it racial. I just want to say what's right is right.
Well, I would tell people to look up trafficking. I mean, people are trafficked every day and don't realize it. So we have to look at, okay, how serious is trafficking? Is everybody involved in trafficking? We transport, ourselves, our kids from point A to point B. That's considered trafficking. We sit in traffic every day. I'm serious. Like, think about it. I mean, because it's like one thing for another does not make sense. I mean, you hear about stories about kids being found in, abandoned houses and cages and being found in containers and crates. And it's just kind of like, it's a constant thing. It's a constant issue. Trafficking around the world is one of the biggest industries. So you don't think that, because they couldn't get them on that, it's like, okay, all right, cool. We'll get them on something else.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally what it looks like. Let's see. Command. We'll make it larger. There we go. So, human trafficking in particular, the unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation.
We've been forced to labor every day because you got to pay for your lifestyle. Hey. Seriously, we've been forced. They're gonna say, yeah, you don't have to work; it's your choice. But then you get into that gray area. Well, yeah, if I don't work, then I don't eat. If I don't work, I can't live in a house. I'll be homeless, right? So people, we get human trafficked every day. They just figure out different ways how to use the lines and the words. You change the words. You blur the lines.
And I think that's part of the problem is that they use it however they want to use it when they want to use it the way that that it's effective for them. Yeah. And so in this instance, they saw, fit for whatever reason. I don't know what you did, Diddy, but they had it out for you, boy. Man, first tried to get you on RICO.
Yeah.
And they was mad you beat that. Guess what? We're gonna get you for the full 11 years.
Well, here's the thing that we see the trend. Mike was getting too big. They killed him. Yeah. Prince was starting to speak out and tell people about stuff. They killed him. Bill Cosby was trying to buy, certain networks. they came back with some old stuff.
Yeah.
Say, man, you was passing out Quaaludes
50 years
back in
ago.
the 60s. Back in the 50s and the 60s. So these women is mad 50 years later, so they want to take you to court. Now
Right.
you're going to jail. Had him sit up in jail, and then he got out of jail and died after that. You know, so all the prominent, you know, people that look like us, you know, that really, you know, make some noise or are disruptive in certain ways, because they're all a part of the system in some kind of way. They all make agreements when you're in entertainment. Trust and believe me, we understand what that is. So I'm just saying,
died, bro?
huh?
Who you talking about died?
Who you talking about died?
Yeah, who you say God is
Didn't
jail?
Bill Cosby die?
No, he's still alive, man. You trying
Is
to send
he?
him to the grave?
Thought he died. My bad. I thought he passed away.
He's still alive and kicking, man.
Okay. Well, I don't know about kicking, but yeah. Okay. Well, good for him. My bad. I thought he passed away. But, you know, to my point, it's like, yeah, I mean, you see the trend. You see the constant trend, you know. So it's just kind of like they build you up, you know, in order to tear you down.
Yeah.
They put you in certain spaces and places and allow you to function and
If you don't play by the rules.
do what you like to do. You know, same thing with R. Kelly. They knew what he was doing for years. They allowed it. Yeah, but it got to a point where it was like, all right, now we got to take you out, take you down, because, you know, you might be making some noise or you might have made some moves that we don't like, you know, we don't see like it's beneficial, or you might have run your course on our your usefulness to us. So we got to get you out of here. And if you don't agree, then we'll figure it out how to get you out.
Yeah.
And they say, no, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't did nothing. I did everything y'all asked me to do. All right, bet.
Right.
Then you got stuff happening, just going. And then you got people on your team just turning, but they was against you the whole time. Coming with stories like, yeah, this guy was a monster, blah, blah, blah. Like, huh? You was with me the whole time. We were chilling. Yeah, you was the one bringing the girls. I told you no, but you was like, man, I got this. Don't worry. I got your back. See how that works?
Whole game.
Cold world. Shout out.
Oh, wrong one. My bad. There we go.
Oh, you welcome. Oh, you put that up there, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, all that good stuff. We need it.
Yeah, man. So let us know what y'all think about Diddy being sentenced to 4 years. You think it's right? You think it's justified? We'll see. We'll have to see again how this plays out. I know he has some time served, so we'll see what that looks like, you know, once they, you know, bust it down or whatever. But man, I know we have some other topics we had to attend to. But me and Cuzzo, we actually have some business to take care of today. We will address those topics later. With that being said, Cuzzo, closing remarks, and then I'll give mine, and then we'll shut it down.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, Cuzzo, as always, for setting us up, holding us down, and yeah, just continue to keep your eyes open. You know, do your research and understand what things mean. When I say understand what things mean, understand what words mean. What's the meaning of words? I was telling my daughter this the other day. She was asking me, like, I don't understand this. I'm like, well, you need to break down the words in the paragraph so you can understand what it's asking. And if you're going through reading, you have to know what context everything is put in. And if you don't understand the context, you're going to be lost. And you're just going to let it go because you don't want to learn, or you don't want to go and, you know, stretch your brain, you know, build those brain cells because you don't feel like it's important enough. It's important. It's important to pay attention to the things that no one else is paying attention to, because that's, you know, what this is designed for. So start to look at those things that you normally don't look at, so maybe you can learn what you need to see in order to understand better. So that's my spiel. Appreciate you. And hey, same time next week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So I just want to say, I'll just be out blunt, you know, and I say this to, you know, more than just you guys, but learn to not have an emotional response to everything. Because what happens is when you respond emotionally to everything, it's hard to get an understanding of what's actually going on because you're driven by your emotions. There's a lot of things going on, as we talk about. There's a lot of things being said. There's a lot of things being done. Like, get full context, right? Get an understanding of what's going on so you can know how to move, so you can know how to, go about things, so you can know how to make the right choices, the right decisions. Because when you, like I said, when you're in your emotions, there's a thing called EQ and IQ. I've heard, from professionals that if you are in your EQ, which is your emotions, it's hard to use the IQ. So with all things, get understanding. We appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Share this with, your friends. Guess what? You may not like us, but your friend might like us. You know what I'm saying? Or your friend might like us. Or your girl might like us too. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Your grandma, your auntie.
Hey, auntie, yeah, we like aunties too. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, auntie.
Yes, sir. But hey, we appreciate you guys. We're signing off, man. See you guys another week. This is episode 41 of the What's Up, Cuzzo podcast. We out of here. Peace.